This week we have more interesting developments than just the title of this video suggests, because AI voice just got pushed to a brand new level. You really have to see this. And then also ChatGPT rolled out various features for businesses. Now the ChatGPT app does meeting recordings. You can link it to 10 times more, heck, arguably 1,000 times more things than you could before. And then various minor updates that we're gonna cover in our quickfire segment in the end. In this week's episode of AI News You Can Use, the show that collects all the AI releases of this week, filters for the ones that you can actually put to work today, and then I have the pleasure of presenting them to you. Let's get into it, starting with the ChatGPT updates, because these weren't the flashiest updates we've ever seen, but if you know what to do with these, powerful. If you don't, let me show you. And we do need to start by saying that they were very selective with who this rolled out to. So all the updates I'm about to cover in ChatGPT were only released to all teams, enterprise, and educational plans. Meaning, if you're in a standard plus plan, as most people are, you don't have this. If you're on a pro plan and you're paying $200 a month, you don't have this either. Matter of fact, I had to go in and reactivate a Teams plan, which requires you to get 2 seats at least. And because I'm only paying monthly in Europe, this cost me over 70 euros, which is almost $80. I just got these features so we can look at them together. If you appreciate that, leave a like on the video. But now let's look at what's actually new here, because Teams, educational, and enterprise plans now have more connectors than ever before. So it starts here with various search connectors, enabling you to connect to various data sources, like some of the most popular ones that you might expect: Dropbox, Google Drive. This is actually OpenAI catching up with the competition. This has been in Google products and even Anthropic products for months now, and it is an incredible feature, and I'll show you how to use it. So some of them might be self-explanatory. If you give it access to your calendar, then it will know what is inside of your calendar. That's great. If you give it access to Google Drive, it will be able to use that in the deep research. But this is important to note. Not everything works in both chat and deep research. For example, the Google Drive only in deep research. That's fine though, because deep research is probably the most useful feature in all of ChatGPT. So I've been saying that since it released, and I still stand behind it. I deep research stuff all the time. And as you connect it, it connects to the entire drive. And I have a bit of an issue with this. I wish it was selective. I mean, this is just my burner account, but there's just random stuff in here. And in some of the competing apps, you can actually select which folder it's supposed to go to. Here, not really. Nevertheless, here's my suggestion what you do. You set up a brand new folder and you call this company documents. And inside of this company documents folder, you will want to collect various things that are at the very core of your company. My recommendation would be starting with a document that outlines your mission, vision, and values. If you don't have this in writing and you're a business owner, now is the time. This also goes for freelancers. And if you're at a bigger company, it's just about digitizing it and putting it in here. Now, we talked about this before. Ideally, it would be a markdown file. PDF is okay. This is the one for my company right here. Simply drag and drop it in here. And now if I run a deep research, which is now in this drop-down menu, instead of a button, I can select the Google Drive as the source. Now, this will consider everything in there. So if your drive is messy like mine, you'll probably want to put all of this into a folder and move it off of your drive and keep it clean for this purpose. But adding context like this is very powerful, because deep research pulls in a lot of context, and you can put way more into the drive than you can into your custom instructions here under Customize Your GPT. Beyond a mission, vision, values document, you will also want to consider a roadmap document and anything that might be relevant to the deep research that you're running. If you're launching a new campaign, well, you will want all the briefs and all the project plans of the campaign in there. It really varies from situation to situation, but the most important one really is the mission, vision, values doc, because that determines where you want to go with the company. And that allows for features like deep research to think about how to get to that point, and it really augments the sites that it pulls into its context when it creates your deep research report. Okay, so that's Google Drive. And when I activate Gmail, it actually has access to my inbox, and I can reference various emails referencing the project I might be working on. I can tell you from experience though, and having used this in other apps, this is kind of messy, because at least I tend to have a lot of various emails. They're not all about one project, and then it can get confused sometimes. It's like having memories on where it pulls in from 50, 60 different conversations, and only 2 or 3 might be relevant to what it's doing. Just overall, just from my experience with other apps that have these integrations, I think Google Calendar is gold, because that's pretty straightforward context. If you're dev, obviously GitHub, but that was there before. If you use a CRM, then HubSpot is obviously amazing. And if you're an enterprise, something like SharePoint will be your go-to. And if you're not an enterprise, Google Drive or Dropbox that is carefully curated and doesn't have excess files will be the way to go here. One more thing about the connections that actually really matters. If you go to the different connectors and you say connect more, you can see that it's not just limited to what's here, but you also have create. And they added the Model Context Protocol, aka MCPs, to ChatGPT now. Probably heard of the term before, but in case you're still not familiar, let me summarize in one sentence. It's like USB-C for various AI tools. A standardized connector that allows any company to build their own MCP server, and then you can plug it into everywhere. It started with Anthropic releasing it and the Claude desktop app having them, but now essentially all developers use them on a daily basis, and even OpenAI integrated them here. Here, for example, I added the Cloudflare MCP, which allows me to scrape certain websites fully if I want to. So connecting them is pretty straightforward. You just need the server URL if there is one. Some of these just come as packages that you have to install on your local machine, which makes it a bit more complicated. I'm not exactly sure. This is a new thing to me because in Claude Code, you used to connect them by editing this file that contains all the MCP connections. Here, the server has to be hosted somewhere. I don't think all of them are hosted, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below. Nevertheless, I picked out 3 servers that might be really interesting to integrate here. The first one is for any finance folks out there. You could pull the most up-to-date data from the Federal Reserve. So if you're doing any sort of financial analysis or deep researches, you could be pulling the data right from the Fed into ChatGPT. Pretty amazing. The other one I think would be super good here is the Slack MCP server, which allows you to interact with your Slack workspace and pull in messages, create reports. So maybe if you have a channel for a project, you could pull in the entire chat history and use that in a deep research report as context. Or there's Notion MCP because there's no Notion connector here, but you could do that via MCP. So yeah, those are the connections, pretty straightforward. So if you just run a prompt in here, it will use the sources, follow-up questions as per usual, but now you can expect it to use everything that I enabled here. So web search and Google Drive access to create its report, not just O3 and its tooling, but also the context you give it. Very nice as a company, especially if you're doing something specific. Now, beyond all of these integrations, some working in chat, some working only in deep research, they actually released one more business thing, which I think is really interesting. And they're also catching up with this one, but let me present to you the ChatGPT recording feature, which records, transcribes, and summarizes meetings, brainstorms, and ideas. So just like every other app out there these days, I mean, heck, even Notion has like a meeting summarizer feature now. They added this too. Remember 2 years ago, you had to get add-ons for the various meeting apps. 1 year ago, Zoom, Google Meets, and all the other players integrated it. And this year, every app out there is getting this feature. And the reason for that is because this is one of the killer AI use cases. Transcribing meetings and then summarizing them and extracting action items, roadmap goals is incredibly useful. And as you can see right here, it's recording what I'm saying right now. So let's just stop the record, send this, and see how it works. Ah, no dialogue detected because it's just me speaking. I see. What if I change my voice though? Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Well, today's meeting is going to be a good one.
And then I'll talk in that big voice. This should sound different. ChatGPT meeting recording for you right here.
Let's see if we manage to fool it. No dialogue detected. Okay, I'll just record for a while.
One eternity later.
Okay, so we recorded for the past few minutes. Let's see how this turned out. I'll say stop, send, and it says no dialogue detected because it was just me speaking. Damn, it's a bit disappointing, but what can I do? So apparently this is for meetings only. I mean, I don't expect this to be revolutionary. From the launch video, you can see the interface, transcript on one side, and then the summary in the middle. I personally would definitely organize these inside of a folder. So you just create a new project, and then you have all the meeting recording transcripts in one project rather than everywhere. And then you can access that from your mobile phone, desktop app, web app, anywhere. Just record in here or move the chats into here. So you always know where to find them. And that's it for the ChatGPT updates this week. Now let's look at something that I'm really curious about. And I'll need my headphones for this one, but from the looks of it, ElevenLabs has been cooking something up and I can't wait to see this. So let's go to instant speech. I was summarizing an article here. And as you can see, they have ElevenLabs V3 Alpha. And the new thing is not just the quality, but these tags that you can add now. So for example, right here, you can see it added the tag concerned, and then it added a sigh here in the middle. So rather than me just talking about it, let's have a quick listen.
You should be worried about where the technology we're building is going. Critics reply, "We don't believe you. You're just hyping it up." He says the skeptics should ask themselves, well, what if they're right?
Did you hear those tone changes? This one being skeptical, this one being challenging. So it can do accents too and not just tones. You can do pauses, you can do intonation.
Critics reply, We don't believe you. You're just hyping it up. He says the skeptics should ask themselves, well, what if they're right? But the truth is, nobody knows. It's a very strange set of dynamics, he added.
Did you hear how thoughtful that was?
Critics reply, we don't believe you. You're just hyping it up.
Yeah, that's so disbelieving. This is incredible. So now you have a new button that adds all of these emotions to the speech when appropriate. And I would say actually all of these were very well picked. This feature is just an alpha, but truly this is elevating AI voices to a new level. I mean, this sounds as good as a human, if not better than most humans, I would say. So there you go, this is available now. And beyond that, they also launched a new conversational AI this week, introducing a bunch of upgrades with that, like knowledge bases. So the voice agents can connect to various documents, just like ChatGPT can now. And in my opinion, most significantly, natural turn taking to understand the flow of conversations. Biggest downside of all of these voice AIs these days is that it's just terrible with either interrupting you, or if you say something, it doesn't know when to shut up. So the knowledge base allows you to add different files, docs, URLs, fair enough. But I think the interesting thing here is really these agents with the new voice models that are not supposed to interrupt anymore. I'm gonna give this a quick shot. Agent 1, create agent. Additional languages. Ah, yeah, and it's multilingual. So if you want the agent to speak both Czech, German, Slovak, and a little bit of French, like I do. I mean, okay, to be fair, Czech and Slovak is almost the same thing. And French, I mean, I guess I understand a lot, but I can't really speak. Well, soon all that might not matter because these voice agents can speak it all. So let's give this a shot and call the AI agent, see how it sounds.
Hey there, I'm Alexis from ElevenLabs support. How can I help you today?
What up, Alexis? I'm curious to hear what you think of the weather today.
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
No. Alexis, listen up. I asked about the weather, not how you're doing.
My apologies. I got a little ahead of myself there. Unfortunately, I don't have access to real-time weather information.
Ah, that's okay. You know
However,
what?
I can...
Alexis, that's totally fine. You're pretty good with the interruptions. Can you just, like, respond?
Sorry, I cut you off there. Oh, I am so sorry about that. I am still under development and learning to be less interruptive.
No. Alexis, you're actually really good. I'm surprised. You're even apologizing for interrupting. This is something I've never heard from an AI ever before.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you think so. I'm always striving to improve and provide the best possible experience. Is there anything specific you'd like to chat about or any way I can help you with ElevenLabs today?
Alexis, you're doing great. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad I could be of assistance.
I'm impressed. Oh, I forgot to test the multilingual capabilities. Let's do one more. And maybe let's switch the voice. So this was Jessica. What if we pick Grandpa's Buds?
Hey there, I'm Alexis from ElevenLabs support. How can I help you today?
Hey, what up? How are you doing? So do you understand multiple languages? Is that right?
I'm doing well, thanks for asking. To clarify, are you asking if the ElevenLabs tools support multiple languages?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, ElevenLabs supports multiple languages for both text-to-speech and speech-to-text.
All right. So let's not waste any time. So tell me, wie geht's dir heute?
I'm not sure I understand. Could you please clarify your question?
Ja, wie geht es dir heute? Ich würde gern...
I'm doing great, thanks for asking. How can I help you today?
Okay. Was hast du heute so gemacht?
As an AI, I don't really do things in the same way a person does.
It gets it. I asked it what it's doing, and it's responding.
I'm glad I could answer your question. Is there anything else I can help you with regarding ElevenLabs?
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Was ist dein Lieblingsschauspieler aus Deutschland?
That's a fun question. As Alexis, if I were to pick a German show, I'd probably go with...
I asked for actor, not for show. Okay, so let's try Slovak. So, ako sa máš?
I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure what you're asking about Slovak. Could you please clarify?
Ako sa máš?
I'm still not quite sure I understand. Could you spell that out for me or provide more context?
Okay, chápem, takže nevieš po slovensky. Ani trošku? Fakt? Vôbec?
I can process and understand various languages, but my knowledge about specific Slovak cultural references, like actors, might be limited. Is there something specific you'd like to know or do with...
Vôbec nemusíme hovoriť o kultúre, o takých šperkoch, ako je borovička s pivom a tak ďalej, ale ty mi nerozumieš ani základné veci, ako sa máš.
I apologize that I'm not meeting your expectations. I'm here to help with questions about ElevenLabs.
Okay, verdict. Voice super good. Interruption, best I've ever heard. I mean, heck, it apologized for interrupting me. I've never seen that of any AI voice product before. The multilingual capabilities, German? Pretty good. And I could dynamically switch mid-conversation. Slovak was actually quite terrible. I'm surprised. Maybe that was linked to the fact that I switched to a different model or something. I'm not sure, but I guess I could have switched into Slovak. Anyway, point being, this is probably the best AI voice product I've seen yet. Very impressive. All right, and next up I want to tell you about the sponsor of today. No. Hold up. Actually, this video has no sponsor. And let me actually take this opportunity to talk about sponsorships on this channel because I haven't had a chance to do that before. And as this video is sponsor free, I think it's time to talk about this from a neutral point of view. So as you might have noticed, recently we started partnering with more sponsors on new content. And I just want to say I'm beyond grateful for all of these incredible companies even wanting to collaborate with us. Matter of fact, so many sponsors reach out that we get to choose from hundreds of different companies to work with. And we get to be super picky. And here we get to my philosophy on all of these sponsorships. Because we get to be so picky with the sponsors we work with, I feel like we pick only the ones that genuinely add value to somebody. Not all those sponsors are for everybody. Some of them are just for creators, some of them are just for finance people or developers. And if we do a project video with a sponsor, my criteria for this is actually super strict. And I wanted to tell you the approach that I take to working with them because I think it's important context for past and future uploads. When it's not just a little 90-second segment in the middle of a video, like this, I suppose, my main criteria is that it's a video that I would have wanted to make anyway. And there's a lot of videos that I would like to make, certain projects that I want to build, certain theoretical concepts that I would love to educate you about. And if a sponsor is a good match for the topics that I already have, then we sometimes decide to partner on these videos. But you can be sure that it's always projects that add value in some sort. So I just wanted to take the time to kind of reveal my thought process behind some of this. At the end of the day, the AI Advantage is a business, but because we have the paid community, we get to be super selective with what sponsors we want to work with, and we don't just have to accept everything. And I hope that shows. And hey, if there's videos without sponsors, that's fine by me. Then we get a little time like this to chat about important topics. I mean, at the end of the day, all of the YouTube content is 100% free. Our newsletter is completely sponsor free and has been for the past 2 years actually. And I hope that the way we select partners and that some of the content that we produce with them resonates with you too, because that really is the ultimate goal. And I just want to say that if you ever have some feedback on a particular company that we partner with not being up to the standards that you hold, please tell us. It's really important for me, for this channel, to maintain its integrity. And I do my very best to keep things honest. Even in this videos, if something doesn't work, we show you. Ultimately, this is all about enhancing your work and personal life with these tools. And also the sponsorships should be aligned with that mission. And with that being said, thanks for hanging around. And now let's look at the next release that might just be worth your attention. Meta announced that they're going to be moving into the AI-generated ad space. Now, this is really interesting because I've been following the AI video discussions closely over the past few weeks. And the consensus across the internet is that AI ads are sort of the first big use case for AI video. And immediately Meta comes out and says that within a year, they're going to have a fully vertical integrated platform. They're just going to be serving up the ads on Instagram and Facebook, but you're also going to be making it with their tools. And businesses are essentially just going to say that they want to advertise, and then the tool is going to come up, brainstorm the creatives, create the visuals, add the text, and send it out to the correct audiences, test multiple ones. And then I guess ultimately an AI agent is going to run your marketing campaigns if you don't have time to do all of that yourself. It's a really interesting future. And if they get this working ahead of the competition like Google, this could give them a real advantage, especially for the people whose ad spends are lowish. So I'll be following this with great interest. And I wanted to highlight it here because at the very least, you should be aware that creating social media ads currently is the main use case for AI video tools. And Meta's going all in on that. So I thought that was really interesting. In this week's quick hit segment, we have several interesting stories that I just quickly want to spotlight. The first one being a follow-up to last week's story that Flux now has an image editing model that is state of the art, and you can now really simply use it for their very own playground under this URL that you'll find in the description below. And then you get state of the art AI image editing that is pretty damn good right out of the box, to be honest. Next up, we have the popular NotebookLM adding a feature that has been really missing in there, and that is the ability to share the notebook publicly. Let me tell you, amongst my circles, this app is so popular that I'm really starting to consider this as kind of the next big thing next to Word documents, Excel sheets, PowerPoint presentations, and now also AI platforms like ChatGPT, and also these notebooks that hold data and allow you to interact with all of it. Seem to be the next big category here that people are loving, and now you can share it all across the internet really easily. Then we also have HeyGen shipping some features where you can actually manipulate the gestures of the avatars that it creates. So you can make your AI avatar do things like this, I guess. Perplexity released this Labs feature, which is essentially a website and app builder. So something very similar to Artifacts in Anthropic's Claude, but a bit more feature rich. There's different tabs for all the the images and assets that it creates, and you can modify them. I just personally think that O3 is so damn good that it's just very hard to compete, and I'm not exactly sure what kind of niche this is filling, but I suppose if you use Perplexity, you can try out the new Labs feature now. And then we also have Google Try-On coming out, but I couldn't get access to this here in Europe. That's a US only thing. Through the VPN, it also did not work. Google is always a bit tricky with access to these things, even with a VPN. But if you're from the US, you can definitely go ahead and try out the new Google Labs feature, Try It On, which is their vision for the future of online shopping. You can basically upload an image of yourself and then try on various clothes and see how they actually look on you versus on other models and body types. Pretty amazing stuff, to be honest. We also have Bing releasing a feature that, well, I think nobody has really been asking for, but fair enough. Instead of Bing, you can now use Sora for free. I mean, with all of the video tools that came out over the past few months, Sora has really fallen behind in terms of quality. I mean, as I said on release, I think their interface is good, but what matters is the model. And now with VO3 that also does audio.
None of us is real. We're here because someone decided to write a prompt.
Or Kling that upgraded last week again. It's just not a competitive model anymore, but if you're interested in seeing which ones are, we do also rank video generators in the free area of our community, so you can check that out. And I guess you can use Sora and Bing now for free. And then we also have Opera coming out with an announcement of a browser that they're building that is fully agentic, an AI-first web browser, something that I think eventually we'll see more and more, but they seem to be the first movers here. And I'm really interested in how this is going to turn out in practice. If you are too and you want to get your hands on this early, they do have a free waitlist that you can just join right now on this website. And that's pretty much all we got for today. If you're still watching and you're wondering how to get started today, what are the first practical steps that you can take? Or if you're exploring ChatGPT, well, then you should definitely check out the 2025 AI prompt library that we updated recently, which you can get completely for free by signing up to our newsletter. And after an onboarding sequence, we just sent one email a week, which is packed with use cases and completely sponsor-free. I happen to know that most viewers of this video are on the newsletter already, but I did want to make a point out of this for any new viewers who might not have seen that template yet. It's really good. And with that being said, I hope you find something that is useful to you in this week's episode. If you want another video to watch, I just created the most concise tutorial for my favorite agentic app building tool. And there you go. That was another week in AI, and I hope you have a wonderful day.